Foreign Minister Radek Sikorski, great to have you on the show.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Here you are for the 75th anniversary of NATO. Usually that's considered to be a pretty big celebration. This time around, one that has a lot of concerns. What's your mood coming into the summit?
Well, NATO is back to basics, to its original mission of repelling and resisting an aggressive Russia. It was originally the Soviet Union. Now it's Putin trying to rebuild his empire. But he misjudged us. We are united. We are helping Ukraine. And we are going to prevail again. He thought Ukraine would just cave in,
right.
That he would just walk into a victory parade, because he believed in his own propaganda, that the Ukrainians were just a bunch of provincial Russians who were dreaming of being liberated, and how wrong that was. And he also thought that some of EU countries would block joint decision-making, that basically some EU politicians were in his grasp. That was wrong too. And he probably thought we would huff and puff, maybe a few token sanctions. I don't think in his worst dreams he anticipated that we would be spending hundreds of billions of euros and dollars on arms and ammunition, and that 2 years on, he would still be controlling only 20% of Ukrainian territory.
This war has been going on for 2.5 years now. There is no end in sight. It feels like a stalemate on the front lines right now, but of course it doesn't feel like a stalemate at all in terms of the broader attacks that are happening against the Ukrainian civilian population, as well as Ukrainian attacks inside Russia. We'll talk a little bit about where this war is right now.
I think Putin burnished his credentials as a war criminal by attacking that oncological hospital for children.
Just at the beginning of the NATO summit.
And I think that was a message for us.
It was a message. It was clear.
Just like the killing of Navalny was a message to the Munich Security Conference.
Yeah.
He does it deliberately, thinking that he will intimidate us. What's actually happening is that he's stiffening our resolve. It's a mixed picture, I agree. Russia is making incremental gains on the ground, but these come at a huge cost in treasure and blood. It's estimated that at least 500,000 Russian soldiers have now been eliminated from the battlefield.
Yeah, not dead, but casualties, all total numbers.
Dead and wounded. Plus, he definitely lost the Battle of the Black Sea, where Ukraine, without a navy, defeated him at sea and can now export its grain again. And remember, the key component is that the Russian economy is beginning to collapse. He's running out of Soviet-era tank hulks that he could bring back to life, and he is spending his National Reserve Fund. If he continues, in a year or two, Russia will run out of resources.
So is the appropriate Western response, from your perspective, you hold the line and eventually the Russians will have to cave? Is that really the case?
Ukraine is heroically defending us before this evil man at a cost to us of less than 1% of our GDP. We can afford this. And it's the cheapest and most effective way to signal to Putin, but also to others, that regaining what you regard as a renegade province is harder than you think.